to me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my apple.
Hey guys, John from SurfFX, and we're having a look at the Unifoil Progression wings. So this is the 140, the other side is the 170. The newest wings from Unifoil, and these have been getting a lot of hype. We've actually sold out of our first couple batches straight away, so we're kind of slow on the videos because, well, I didn't need to promote them because they're already gone. So now that we've got a little bit of stock, here's a new video. So the big thing about these wings is that they're a fairly high aspect video, but one of the downsides of being on high aspect in the foils is that they tend to have a high stall speed. So if you're new to this and you want to know what a stall speed is, basically it's the speed at which it no longer holds you up. So if it's a high stall speed, it's got to be moving pretty fast. If it's a low stall speed, it's moving slowly before it drops you. So most of the high aspect wings, traditionally the first round that kind of came through from most companies, you had to be really moving or it drops you. So when you're pumping, it means you got to be constantly like bunny rabbit pumping. If you're winging, it means you got to be quite powered the whole time. So it really just kind of lets you, you really had to just be on it and keep it moving fast in order to even go. So dropping the stall speed means that you can slow it down a bit. So that glide is a lot better on the pumps, and winging you've got a little bit more light wind ability to go quite fast. So that's kind of the major thing that they've done with this wing. And we're starting to see that with a few other manufacturers, but these guys really nailed it with this one quite well, because they combined it with a dihedral shaped wing. So it's not dead flat. You've got a wing, it's a bit of a curve to it, so it allows quite a bit of maneuverability. If you have too flat a wing, it just rides flat. Like if you look at the windsurfing foils, for example, they tend to be very flat because they're for just hauling in one direction and not much turning. Now these guys have also put in a little bit of that flip tip, which you're seeing a lot coming through. And the reason why they're doing this is when the wingtip breaches, what they found is that, when you wingtip breaches and you roll the same direction as the board and you kind of almost wants to stab you in the face. Well, that's because it draws air down the whole length of the wing, causing cavitation, and it just loses traction and it so this end comes up and then suddenly it goes down. So by having that bit of a curve to the tip, it allows the air to separate on the wing much better. So it allows the tip to breach, not draw all the air down and cavitate, but allows it to reconnect and keep going. So it's a pretty good setup, especially now that everyone's getting quite aggressive. You're getting the wingtips up turning, guys are popping little airs. It allows it to settle back in on the wave. So you got that traction back so it's not trying to roll over and kill you. Perfect. So the bag setup on these is great. The bags that come with these are nice zippers through them. They got Velcro so you can have it all assembled and keep it on there. They've got a decent amount of padding with some reinforcing in the wingtips so you're not really going to cut through. And that's the 170, so you can see the size difference. Now, rumors of other sizes are coming, but at the moment you've got the 140 and the 170. So with Unifoil, you now have some options to cut cost, which is great. They have an alloy setup. So I got one here. This one here is with the Viper. This is the more all-around wing. You can see it's a little bit deeper draft, so it's got a little bit more low-end speed again. But you've got an alloy mast, and you can add an alloy rear tail bit, which is the rear fuselage, because the front section is carbon built into the wing. Now that drops the price down quite a bit. We're at $1,900 Australian for that setup with the alloy mast and alloy fuselage, and with the unifoils. The rear wings, now you can buy them separately. They were as a pack, but you've got 3 different options there on rear wings across 2 sizes. You got a 12-inch, you got 13-inch wide and a 14-inch. I had Subway for lunch, so I'm thinking 12. Those different wings kind of just give you a different angle, so you've got a little bit of a degree cant to it if you want to do it. Pretty much everyone goes to 0 because you don't need to really shim too much anymore. Alloy setup though is not real heavy. Typical alloy weight for most other brands. You've got the slots in the top to get it fitted up nice and easy, but there's also a solid hole if your board's a little bit narrow, or you're putting it on something like a kite board or a hybrid board that's only got the one little insert. But you're able to get something that's quite stiff. So that's a 75 mast. That's kind of the go-to most guys are going to get. But because it's still connecting into the carbon, it's really stiff in that connection. So you're not really losing too much with the stiffness if you go to the alloy, but you get a little bit of the weight. course, Unifoil have two different carbon masks. They have a standard and what they call a katana, which is like a high modulus carbon, quite a bit stiffer again. If you're a bigger guy or you're really pushing hard, the high modulus is the way to go, because it's just a lot more responsive, because it just stays rigid when you really load them up. Especially if you're on the bigger wings like the 170, you really can load it up and not have too much flex in the whole setup.
Oh, but I don't really miss you, baby.